So here, whenever we want to make a two plate to assemble, so before assemble, we need to make a hole on the plates. So here in the first plate, there is a hole. Then in second plate, another hole is there. And with tool, riveting is, the hammer riveting is done here. So this is the one type of system for riveting, making a joint. And this is the another type of joint, riveting only. This is the rivet staking. In this manner, the riveting is completing. Okay, so this is the process as shown how the riveting is assembled to making a two parts assemble, how the rivets are used. Okay, so what is rivet here? Before starting this one, what is the rivet? So a rivet is nothing but it is a short cylindrical with a head is integral to it and as well as tail is integral to it. And the middle portion is known as a shank or body. This portion is known as shank or body, and the top one is a head and the bottom one is a tail. Okay, these rivets are used for making a permanent joints. The rivets are used to make a permanent joint. So how the process you have seen in the video. So here die is kept here below, and after inserting into two plates the rivet with the die, the force is applying. So this rivet is going to done in this manner. Okay. So the main function of the rivets is to make a tight and leak proof joint, and as well as the strength should be there. So the plates to make a joint between the two plates, like a construction works like a structural work. shipbuilding, bridges, tank constructions, boiler constructions. In such situations, the riveting system is used. Okay. So how the riveting is going to done? The riveting is going to done first taking a rivet this one and keeping in the die first die in a reverse manner, and whatever the plates we are going to assemble, that plates we have to make a first hole with the drilling operation. Then the hole of the plate is equal to diameter of the rivet, diameter of the rivet. Okay, so same diameter we have to maintain in the plates also. After making a hole, insert into the plates, and with the die apply the hammer pressure, otherwise hydraulic pressure or pneumatic pressure, whatever the systems we are using, make it a complete riveting system. So in this manner riveting is going to done. Riveting is nothing but assembling the two plates. Okay, now here, if we use the for joining the for joining purpose, if you use a cold riveting, means there is no heating to the rivet material, directly we are applying the pressure and making the rivet. That system is known as a cold riveting. And if we use the hot rivets, just now we have seen in the video, so if you use the hot rivet to make a joints, so that system is known as a hot riveting system. So what is the difference for the cold riveting and hot riveting? So cold riveting is used for the only for structural purpose, and hot riveting is used for the leak proof construction. Leak proof construction means where we can find the leak proof in boilers, okay, in tanks. So at that particular situation, we need the tanks. The leak proof construction is required. Structural purpose means bridge construction, roof construction. Okay, in such situations, just cold riveting is enough. Okay, so rivet material, the material whatever we are using for the riveting joints, that material should have the high toughness and as well as ductility. These two property is required for the rivet system. And generally, the material used for the rivets are low carbon steel or nickel, brass, aluminum, copper. Okay, so these are all the general materials are preferred for the manufacturing of the rivet. So types of rivet head, you already, I think you already completed in the um, machine drawing these rivetings. So these rivet types of rivet head are snap headed rivet, pan head, mushroom head. These are the few I am showing here as for our syllabus, as per our syllabus. Snap head and snap head, pan head, mushroom head, flat head. So based on the shape, the names are giving. Snap head means this is a shape is appearing here. Generally, most of the riveting systems are going to, we can find this kind of shape. Okay, so the dimensions is here. Um, the diameter of the rivet head is 1.6 into d. Height of the rivet head is 0.7 into d. Okay, so generally the rivet is going to specify with the its diameter. The rivet is going to specify with its diameter. And here for the pan head, the diameter, outer diameter of the rivet is head is 1.6 into d, and inner diameter is equal to the diameter of the rivet, and thickness of the head is 0.7 into d. And same manner for the mushroom head, 0.5 into d height of the head, and 2.25 outer diameter of the head, and the radius of the head, this radius is 1.516 into d. Okay, so these relations we have, mm, we are going to use in some situations, not at all times. Okay, just you have to remember uh, 0.7 into d, 0.7 into d, and 1.6 into d. So these two values is enough. Okay, So coming to the type of riveted joints. Okay, wow. So in riveting system, type of joints, single riveted lap joint. I think you already practiced these diagrams in machine drawing. The rest are explained, I think, already. These are all things. Single riveted lap joint, double riveted lap joint, double riveted lap joint with zigzag riveting and chain riveting and zigzag riveting. So broadly, this riveting system having one is a lap joint, another is a butt joint. Again in lap joint, based on the again this lap joint based on the riveting position, the system is going to difference. So single riveted lap joint means only single row of rivet is appearing here, single column, not single row, single column of rivets are appearing. So that is a single riveted lap joint. If double columns are up, if it appears, that is the double riveted lap joint, and it is also known as a chain riveting, meaning continuously it is appearing in a continuous manner. And double riveted zigzag joint means the position of the rivets are arranged in a zigzag manner, in this manner. Here it is arranged in a on continuous chain manner. Okay, so this is the meaning of chain zigzag. Okay, now if we see here for the lap joint, two plates are overlap each other here. This is the one plate and this is another plate. One plate is placing one plate is placing over the another plate, and to match the two holes properly, then rivets are placing here. So see here from the front view, only single rivet is appearing. Actually here number of rivets are there, but if you see from the front side, only if you see from the here, only the first rivet will going to appear here. Okay, now if you see the front from the front view, two rivets are appearing, so that reason we are calling as a double riveted. Now if you see from the here, only one rivet will appear, another rivet will not appear, but just we are making with the hashed lines here. It means by seeing this figure, we have to estimate this is the rivet, zigzag riveting, this is the chain riveting. Okay, and now coming to the butt joint. Butt joint means two plates are joining here. See, this is the one plate and this is the another plate, placing adjacent manner, and on these two plates, two covers are going to placing. Okay, the butt joint may be single cover, double cover. So if we place the two covers, that is a double cover butt joint. If we place the one cover at one side, so that is known as a single cover butt joint. Now here also we can find the in this but especially for the butt joint, we can find only the double riveting, not single riveting system. Sorry, we here also we can find the single riveted joint and double riveted joint on one plate. On one side of the plate, this is the first plate, this is the second plate. Okay, so on one plate, if we find the only one column of riveting system, that is known as a single riveted butt joint. Okay, now if we based on the number of plates, the name is single riveted double strap butt joint, double cover or double strap butt joint. If we use the single cover here, that is single riveted single strap butt joint. And here, if you see this one, this is the first plate, this is the second plate. Okay, now on the one side of the plate, if you observe, two columns of rivetings are appearing here. This is the one column, this is the another column. Now if you see from the side, front view from this side, so for the on one plate, two rivets are appearing here. Okay, so this is the double riveted double strap butt joint or chain riveting. Why I am calling chain riveting? Because this is in a chain manner. The arrangement of the rivets are in a chain manner. Okay, and here if you use a single strap, that is a single double riveted single strap butt joint. Now this is the zigzag joint. The arrangement of the rivets are in a zigzag manner. Okay, so this is the types of joint in a riveting system. One is the lap joint, one is a butt joint, and based on the arrangement of the rivets, chain joint and zigzag joint. Okay, this is the classification of the rivets. Now this is the few terminologies we have to remember as per our syllabus. First one is a pitch. Pitch is nothing but the center distance from the one rivet to this rivet this rivet, that is known as a pitch. The center from here to here, if you see, that is known as a pitch. Okay, it is denoted by capital P. Back pitch. Back pitch is nothing but, so here, the distance between the one row of rivet to another, one column of rivet to another column of rivet, that is known as a back pitch. Okay, so it is denoted by P suffix B, back pitch. And diagonal pitch. Diagonal pitch means it is the adjacent distance, means this rivet to this rivet. So this rivet to this rivet, here it yellow color line it is appearing, that is a diagonal pitch. That is a diagonal pitch. Okay, and it is denoted by P suffix D. So diagonal pitch we can find in only zigzag joint, not in a chain joint. In chain joint we can find the pitch value, we can find the back pitch, but we cannot find the diagonal pitch. Margin. Margin is nothing but it is a distance from the edge of the plate to center of the riveting system. This one. So edge of the plate to, it is a distance from the edge of the plate to center of the riveting system, that is known as margin. So these are the four terminology required for the as per our syllabus. Now this is the caulking and fullering process. These two processes are using for the leak proof joint. To make a joint leak proof, these two processes are adapting. After making the riveting system, one tool is there. The tool, based on the tool name, the process name is given, caulking tool and fullering tool. So here its thickness, is about 5 to 35 mm, and here the angle from the bottom 75 to 80 it is maintaining. Here the angle is maintaining 80 degrees. Okay, so after making, this is the one kind of tool, placing here and applying the somewhat force here. So what happens, slightly it is going to move in this manner. So by doing like this is going to make a leak proof joint. Okay, So here, this is whatever so far I have explained the terminology and theory. These are all the we can expect for the 2 marks question. And now from this topic onwards, we can expect the long answer questions. So here, design of riveting system is based on the failure modes of the rivets. It means if you know the failure where it is the failure is happening, then whenever you are overcoming that failures, that is nothing but design is going to done. Okay. So if you know the failure modes, we can easily overcome that failure. That is nothing but we are doing the designing here. So for that, the failure modes are only here. Four types of failure modes we can find. First failure mode is tearing of the plate across the row of rivet. Second failure is sharing of the rivets. Third failure is crushing of the plate or rivets. Fourth one is the tearing of the plate at edge position. So these four are the failure modes of the riveted joint. So if we know how, because what is the reason, and if we overcome these four failure, nothing but we are completing that safe design. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about these four one by one. The first one is the tearing of the plate across the row of rivet. So here, this type of failure is occurred. Otherwise, now see here, this type of failure because continuous holes are making on a plate. Suppose this is a plate. Suppose this is a plate. This is the plate. We want to join having somewhat thickness and length and width. Okay. So for this plate, if we make the holes continuously, okay, in through this only we are going to inserting the rivets and doing the riveting. So because of application of load in this manner, and see here I'm applying the stress concentration phenomena. Because of number of holes are presented here, along this line, the stress concentration is going to involve. So at the edges of the hole, the stress is more. Okay. So due to this reason, what happens? The plate is going to fail in a tear across the row of rivet. This one. So that is the reason name is given as tearing of the plate across the row of rivet. Okay. So after failure, how it is appears, I'm drawing see here. Only one side figure I'm drawing. Okay. because due to application of load. So only this part I am drawing here, first plate. Now because the what type of load applying here? Tensile load applying. So tearing of the plate is happening here. So the reason tensile respective stress is tensile stress. Okay, tensile load by tensile failure area. So with this tensile strength is equal stress into failure area. Now what is the failure area here? This failure area we need to take into consideration. Okay. So this failure area, only one area I'm taking here. So this area I'm considering only particular this area. So this area, how much? This is the plate thickness T, and from this center to this center is known as pitch, isn't it? From this center to this center is known as pitch, and from this center to here, diameter of the hole, from this center to this center, diameter of the hole. Okay, sorry, not diameter, radius of the hole. So how we can get the area? So from the pitch, if we subtract the d value, it means r plus r. This is one r, this is another r. So if you make 2r, that become as a d. So p minus d from the pitch. If you subtract the two r's, that is d, we will get the width of the this one. Okay. Now what is the thickness? Thickness is t. So write the equation here. Pt equal stress, tensile stress into p minus d into t. So this is the tensile strength for the this tearing of the along the row of rivet. So with this, we are going to determine maybe stress value, otherwise d value, otherwise pitch value, otherwise t value. Okay. So with this, we are getting the tensile strength of the riveting system when the rivet is failing across the row of rivet. Means how much load we have to apply when such number of rows are present, number of rivets are present on the row. This is going to decide with this equation. That is the first one, first failure mode. So the second one is the sharing of the riveting. Now sharing of the plate, because see here, the shear failure we can expect in the lap joint and as well as in a butt joint. So this is the lap joint, because here tangential forces are applying on the rivet. The tangential forces are applying on the rivet because see here, um, one force is applying on the one plate, another force is applying on the another plate. So because of this reason, so the rivet is going to fail in this manner. Means one rivet is carried out along this lower plate, another rivet is going to carried out along with the upper plate. Okay. Now this is another type of figure. This is the butt joint with the single cover, single strap. So here the load is applying in a tensile manner because these two are the collinear forces. But what happened, because of application of the one strap, the force is distributed in the rivet in a tangential manner. In a tangential manner. Because of that reason, the rivet is going to come along with this plate. This rivet is going to come along with the come outside along with the this plate, and the top two rivets are going to remain inside the strap. Another figure you can see here, because of application of tangential force, the rivet middle portion of middle portion of the rivet is going to come outside. and the top and bottom rivets are going to stay in the cover plates. Now see here, for this type situation, I'm drawing separately. I'm drawing separately. This is the upper failure and this is the lower failure for this one. Now for this, it is also same in this manner. Now for this, now this is the failure area. Now another failure area is at the bottom. Now this is the failure area. Now here at the bottom, we can find the one failure area in a circular manner because the Revit is having the circular cross section. At this bottom also, we can find the failure area. Here another failure area. Now the title is sharing of the Revit. So that is happening here. So that reason respective stress is shear stress equal shear load by shear failure area. Now shear strength equal shear stress into shear failure area. Now this area is going to different here. If it is system, whatever we are applying here, if it is a lap joint, so single failure area we can find. It means what is the failure area here? That is pi by 4 into d square. So it means this one and this one becomes as a 1. That is a pi by 4 into d square. Now single strap butt joint. The title, see the title here, single cover butt joint. So because of that reason, the failure also going to in this manner only. The equation for the area failure is pi by 4 into d square. Now this is the double strap butt joint. Double strap butt joint means two failure areas are going to generated. One is at the top, one is at the bottom. It means this one and this one combines 1 and this one and this one combines 1. Total two failure areas. It means 2 into pi by 4 into d square. So selection of area is depends on the position bow. This is the one first position, this is the second, and this is the third. It means lap joint means only single shear we can find. Single strap butt joint also we can find the single shear. Double strap butt joint means we can find the two shear failure areas. Okay, so PS equals sigma s into pi by 4 into d square. This is for the lap joint equation. Now another equation is PS equals sigma s into 2 into pi by 4 into d square. So this equation for the butt joint. Why I'm telling lap and butt joint? This is the lap joint. This is for the butt joint. And this is also single strap butt joint. Single strap butt joint. Okay. So why I'm telling this one? Because in the lap joint and single cover butt joint, single area is obtaining. Here in the double strap butt joint, double area is appearing here. Here is one, here is one, here is one. So that reason I am multiplying with 2. The selection of areas depends on the system. So in numerical problem, read the question properly. Single riveting butt joint or single cover butt joint, double cover butt joint or lap joint, whatever is there, you read it properly and select the area here. Now with this area, how much load we have to apply, that is shear strength is going to calculated here. Otherwise, PS is calculated. Otherwise, D is calculated. Okay. So this is the another mode of failure. One more thing, Babu. When double share is there, multiply with 2. No, but actually, as per Indian boiler regulation, if two failure areas are generating, we have to multiply with the 1.875. 1.875. Remember this one. Okay. And one more thing. So in this is for the only one rivet from the front view. If you see from the top side, there are n number of rivets are there. So n number of rivets means n number of failures we can find. So that reason multiply with n here. And here also, this is front view figure. So if you see from the top side, number of rivets are present. So n number of present means we have to multiply with the n value here. So the equations are slightly changes here. Multiply with n. Okay. Now the third failure is crushing of the plate or rivet. So crushing of the rivet or plate means when there is a looseness in a joint. When there is a looseness, when there is a looseness in a joint means the diameter of the hole is larger than the diameter of the this rivet. So what happens because of when the diameter of the hole is larger than the diameter of the rivet, there is a looseness is created. Because of this looseness, whenever the load is applying, so because of the looseness, vibrations and going to generated, and this rivet is going to hit the surfaces of the plates. So because of the reason, the circular hole is going to create it in a elliptical manner. So elliptical manner means whatever that I'm drawing here dark line, that area is going to subject it to crushing. That area is going to subject into crushing. So the respective stress is crushing stress equal load by area. So crushing strength equal crushing stress into crushing area. So what is the area here? The area is along the diameter into along the thickness of the plate. Separately I'm drawing here. So in this region, it is going to subject to crushing. So what? How much this one? This is the D, and how much its thickness? This is the T. That is the crushed area D into T. Like this, if number of rows in this single plate only number of rivets are there, number of holes are there. So how many number of rivets are there? We don't know. So that is n number of there. So PC equal sigma C into n into D into T. This is the crushing strength of the rivet system. Okay. Now the fourth failure is tearing of the plate at the edge of the rivet. Sir, tearing of the plate at the edge. So this failure is happens because of the reason we are making the holes to the plate at the near to the edges. So at this time, whenever you're applying the load here, so easily it is come outside. The rivet is going to come outside, and the failure is appears like this manner. To avoid this failure, we have to maintain the proper margin. Margin M equal 1.5 into D. Margin M equal 1.5 into D. So this is the failure modes of the rivet. Next one is the strength of the riveted joint. So strength of the riveted joint is nothing but this is a one relation. Strength of the riveted joint is pitch into T into sigma T. It means suppose this is a suppose this is the solid plate. This is the solid plate and we are applying the load here P. So sorry, tensile load. So how much tensile stress is generating here? That is tensile load by tensile area. So PT equal stress into area. How much area here? We don't know area here. So for that reason, along this line, we are placing the rivets. So here one plate, here one rivet, here one rivet. Suppose we want to make. So how much distance we placed? At which distance we placed? Okay. So the area we can expect along this pitch only. So the area you can find is pitch into T. T is the thickness. T is the thickness. Pitch into T. Now tensile strength of the plate is P into T into sigma T. This is the strength of the solid plate. If we make a hole, the equation changes as PT equal P minus D into T into sigma T. Tearing of the plate along the row of rivet. If we are not making any holes, just we are planning, that is the strength of the solid plate. Okay. Now the efficiency of the riveted joint is least of PT or PC or PS by strength of the solid plate. That is PT. Just now we calculated at the beginning in the topic tearing of the plate along the row of rivet. In that topic we calculated the PT value. Okay. And the shearing of the rivet. In the topic we calculated the shear strength of the rivet. And crushing strength we calculated crushing of the plate or rivet. In the topic we calculated the PC value. Among three values, least value we have to select. The title itself here. In efficiency, the least value is PT, means among the whichever is the least value, that value we have to select. And the PT here we are calculating strength of the solid plate. This is the one. Okay, substitute and we'll get the efficiency. Okay, Babu. So this is the first theory in the failure modes of the rivet. On this, we will practice one problem. Is there any doubts regarding this topic, Babu? Failure modes of the rivets? Don't have any doubts? Now, so this is the one problem. How much time now? 11:20. Okay, see, given data. See here, read the question properly. A double riveted lap joint. It means for this riveted joints also you have to draw every time diagrams in numerical problems. Now, if you forget to draw the diagrams, you will lose the marks. So double riveted lap joint. Double riveted lap joint means this is the plate and another plate is below this one. So that reason I'm drawing the hashed lines. In this manner only you have to draw an examination, Babu. Okay. Double lap joint made between the 15 thickness plates. Okay. Rivet diameter and pitches are 25 diameter, 75 pitch. So 25 25 25 diameter. The pitch is 75 Plate thickness is, so from the front view I am drawing. Plate thickness is 15 Okay. Ultimate stresses are given. Sigma T value is given 400 megapascal and 320 megapascal for shear and 640 megapascal for crushing. Find the minimum force. The question is asking how much P value, how much P value minimum force required per pitch will rupture the joint. If the above joint is subjected to load such, the factor of safety is 4. Factor of safety is given as 4. Find out actual stresses. Means the stresses value is given and asking to calculate P value how much. If it is subjected to some factor of safety 4, then what are the actual stresses? These three we need to calculate. Okay, this is the question. So for the calculation of the force, now first failure is tearing of the plate along the row of rivet. So with that equation, we can find the tearing strength Pt equal P minus D into T into sigma T. Sigma T is given in the question. T value is also given in the question. D value also given in the question. Pitch value also 75. So substitute the all values in this equation. Pt you will get in terms of Newton. Okay. In same manner, Ps equal sigma s into n into n into pi by 4 into d square. So n is the number of rivet or how many double riveted. So here double I am writing 2. So Ps equal sigma s value is given as 320 into double into here. Why I am taking pi by 4 into d square? Because single shear is appear, because this is a lap joint. Only single shear is appear in this region. In this region, the single shear is appear. Okay. So pi by 4 into d square, that is 25 square. So with this PS you calculated in terms of Newton. Now PC equal sigma C into N into D into T. So N is a 2 here, sigma C is a 640 and D is the 25 and T is the 15. Substitute the all values here, you will get N value in terms of PC value in terms of Newtons. So based on these stresses, load is calculated because the question is asking how much minimum force is required. Okay. Now the second question is if the system is subjected to the minimum factor of safety as a 4, what is the sigma t, what is sigma s, what is sigma c? Okay, so tell me the first pt, ps, pc value, then we'll start the calculation of this one. What is pt, what is ps, what is pc? Make it fast, Babu. PT how much? How much PT? Make it fast, Babu. Based on your answer only, next answer we will going to calculate it. How much PT value? Are you calculating or not? Okay, roll number 70 given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one, Babu? This one you given?
PT value, sir.
PT value. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now PS value. PS value. What is PS? Make it fast, Babu. Okay. PC 48. Okay. 3, 1, 4, 200. PC 4800. 4800. Now the see here we got the three load values. One is a PT, one is a PS, one is a PC. Okay, but question is asking find the minimum force per pitch which will rupture the joint. Here the minimum force which will going to damage the joint. So how much minimum force among the three loads? Which one is the minimum? PT is the minimum. This load we have to consider for safe design. Means 330 300 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons of load is minimum load for safe design. It means this much of load only we have to apply on this system. If we exceed, the system is going to fail. Okay. Now next question is, when the system is subjected to the factor of safety 4, now actual stresses how much? These stresses how much? So for this, the load minimum load we selected as 300 into 10 to the power of 3. So divided this load with the help of factor of safety. How much we will get load? 75,000 newtons. This much of load is going to generate. Now apply this load here, apply this load here, and apply this load here, and get the values of sigma t, sigma s, where is sigma s here, now sigma s, now sigma c. These three are the actual stresses developed in the plate material. Okay, Baba? Wait, I'm taking attendance.